What I'm going to be talking about is AI, archive, and how to make more money. Everyone wants to make more money. So this is how to do it as easy as possible. So little overview of artificial intelligence. Perhaps you've heard of it. Now, artificial intelligence can do so much more than just speech-to-text or facial recognition. You can detect athletes, you can detect celebrities. If you have a game footage where there's two teams, you can preload the roster of the players into the engine so that it only has a small subset to look at, and it's going to be a lot more accurate. You can also detect sentiment, what someone's talking about and how they're talking about it. And using some engines like, for example, Velocis Soccer Engine can tell you moments in a game, like when there's a goal, when there's a corner kick, when there's a penalty. It's really exciting. But the information returning from AI can be overwhelming. It's hard to visualize the data, and so often you need a DAM or a MAM to visualize it for you. And so what we've done is we've created an innovative timeline view. So the information coming back from artificial intelligence shows up in the timeline with markers for everywhere in the video that it had the hit, where it noticed what object it was determining. And we took that a step further, and now we allow you to oh, no, that's a later slide, sorry. And so you can search with AI too. So let's say you had a certain athlete and you wanted to find out when they scored a goal. You would enter the athlete, the goal, hit go, and it'd bring you to that video. So automatically you can have AI tagging things and your search is going to be a lot more powerful. So we took it a step further, and since AI is now tagging moments in the game, we created the ability to edit with AI. So for example, in this football video, AI tagged where there was a touchdown, and we say, oh, I just want to look at touchdowns. You click Create Sequence Asset. You import it into Premiere. It's an XML. It can be imported into any editing program. And you got an instant highlight reel. So what that means is you can get a highlight reel in 2 seconds. So editors having to churn through a lot of footage, this is going to be a huge help for them. And if you want to see more demos of this, stop by my booth. So AI is great for production, but how does it help archive? So because the metadata is retained in the MAM or the DAM database, it's always going to be searchable. So you can search your archive. And you can also set retention policies around the data it's generated, such as keep this celebrity's video longer than that one. And you can also find things to bring them back online, of course. And you can save on production costs through reuse, because if you're doing a video about a certain landmark and you've already shot footage of that landmark, you can search for that clip and find it and bring it back, and you don't have to reshoot the landmark. But you've spent time and money on shoots, and maybe if you're a large company, you've got a lot of footage. Some companies have petabytes of footage, and it's just sitting there in archive just collecting dust, and it's not making money for them. But if you shoot quality content, people are looking to license it. Stock footage is great. It's getting a lot better. But if you shoot top quality content, people want to pay for it. So in order to set up a proper monetization workflow, your media needs to be searchable so that someone who knows nothing about your company whatsoever can find what they're looking for. So that's where you could combine AI tagging and human tagging so that things are accurate and searchable, and people can find it. And so what you do is you set up a licensing portal so that outside people can log in, search for footage, and the licensing portal handles the payments and the terms. And so there are a bunch of companies that do this, but you need to send media to them. So a MAM or a DAM can do that automatically. So basically you got your licensing portal set up, it handles the payments, and you have your MAM or your DAM sending footage to it based on certain criteria. So you can have based on certain projects, based on certain content. You can also flag content for monetization, but it has to wait for someone to approve it, because you don't want everything going up there without someone approving it. And so this is where the mix of metadata, artificial intelligence, and licensing can create one seamless workflow. But there's a few key things to keep in mind when you're doing this. Proxies of your videos need to remain online. That will allow you to search for the videos and play them back, even if they're archived. And also, as AI engines get better, you might want to reanalyze the video and resend it for analysis, and maybe even get a different engine involved. And so keeping the proxies online allows you to not have to bring back the full res footage every time. Another thing to keep in mind is to get licensing contracts correct up front. So if you're the producer, if you're paying for the shoot, you should own the footage. I worked with a company where someone had hired a photographer to shoot video, and in the photography world, the photographer keeps the still photos, but he had created a license where he keeps the video, which is not how the video world works. So the company actually had to pay a lot and relicense the video footage that they should have owned in the first place. So if you're the producer, make sure you own the footage. And if a larger brand is paying you to do it, like if Red Bull is paying you to shoot footage for them or something, maybe try to work into the contract a share in the monetization, because they're obviously going to want to own that footage, but maybe you get to own the B-roll that you shot that's not specifically of Red Bull or something like that. If you're the camera person or DP, at least get approval so that you can use the footage in your own reels, because sometimes people try to lock it down and not even let the DP use the footage, but you should be able to use that in your portfolio at least. And I'm standing in front of Cloudian, and that's because they're an excellent archive solution. And you need a flexible archive solution that can restore as needed for this workflow. So Cloudian's really easy to use, and integration is super easy with them. So the DAM or MAM can restore, analyze, re-archive as needed very fast with a solution like Cloudian. So what does all this mean? It means you get to sit back and make money in the background once you've set up this workflow. So you have AI tagging things, you have your MAM readying them and marking them for licensing, then you have someone click OK, it goes to the licensing portal, and then it starts generating money for your company. So as you get this workflow moving and it gets smooth and it becomes second nature, your organizations just start making more money in the background and driving additional revenue that you wouldn't otherwise have using your archive. So